Wow, so it's looking like Sony won't be doing E3 next year in 2019. This is the first time Sony has ever not done a press conference or actually even showed up at the show floor in roughly 25 years since the show has been around. What is up, everyone? I've been online. Welcome back to another video as always. E3 is going to change dramatically next year. Sony, as I said, is dropping out of the trade show that it normally holds in June, which is really mind-boggling because if you think about it, E3 is like the #1 gaming event of the year that we can expect news out of, and is usually the thing that everyone looks forward to, at least, you know, in terms of the gaming industry. And Sony, which is one of the major players, obviously, the big three is probably Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, they're dropping out, and there's a lot of theories going around, and that's kind of what the whole video today is going to be about, talking about what they're planning on doing, kind of, you know, reacting to this in a way, and just kind of breaking this down and seeing where Sony moves forward. So I have an article pulled up here on Game Informer. They actually talked to like a Sony spokesperson here and actually got some more details. Originally the story I think was broke by Variety, and then that article was kind of like taken down. It was kind of weird. This kind of all sprang out of nowhere. This wasn't really like a controlled announcement like probably Sony would have wanted, but yeah, a lot of stuff just rapidly came out here today. So they said pretty much as the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. The company told Game Informer in a statement, "PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We're exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you." Now that paragraph alone kind of is really interesting, but they even go down and further kind of deny other claims. When asked if Sony would push its event off-site, similar to how EA provides a show adjacent to E3, which is, you know, EA Play, PlayStation Senior Vice President of Communications Jennifer Clark elaborated further, saying that we will not activate or hold a press conference around E3. Now that big keyword around E3 makes me think that they're not going to be doing anything in June, which originally was one of my theories, and I guess I'm going to share it now. So my first theory when I originally saw this is the one that I immediately jumped to, was the fact that I kind of put two and two together that PSX is not coming this year, and that obviously they canceled E3, and I thought maybe they would follow EA's footsteps that they've been doing for the past couple of years and maybe do a PSX in June. That way they can leave the Game Awards to be the Game Awards, and that they can always have their PSX in June, similar to how EA Play has their thing in June as well. And this would be obviously like a fan expo. You'd be able to control, you know, obviously not have to pay money to whatever ESA, I believe, is the people that control E3. Obviously, as we've seen, like, you know, as the years go on, E3's kind of changed. You know, we've gotten big publishers like EA moved out. We got Bethesda doing their thing in a weird way, but like it seems like everyone's around LA area, but they're not actually at the E3 Expo. And obviously, now that Sony's kind of pushed out, that's pretty much one of the major three gone. You know, people say Nintendo's technically not at E3 anymore, but they still have like a booth at the show floor. They're still technically there. They're still like a huge presence when you actually go to the expo floor and everything. But yeah, Sony's completely dropped out of everything. They're not going to be present at all. And based on that paragraph down there, it sounds like they're not even going to be doing a PSX or any sort of fan event in June. So what this basically means is that kind of Sony's looking at 2019 and the news they want to break, and kind of configuring their whole, you know, marketing plan and how they want to get this news out there. If you see what Sony's been doing for the past couple, I guess only really this year, you know, they've obviously broken down news when they want to. Obviously they canceled PSX. They did a weird E3 this year. And just in general, it seems a lot more like on a random Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, they're just going to drop something and announce when they want to. So yeah, my second theory, which is the one that I think is most likely, is that Sony's just going to honestly announce like maybe a PlayStation Direct or some kind of formal announcement kind of thing. Similar to how Nintendo does it. That was my second theory. Or three, this could possibly be leading to an eventual PS5 announcement. Now, I got a tweet from Jason Schreier. He pretty much said this has less to do with, you know, skipping E3 and more about the future of their marketing plans, as I said just previously. And he said that from everything he's been hearing, PS5 is 2020. Obviously, we don't know if that's fall 2020. I would bet it's probably fall 2020 because that's where Sony likes to, you know, obviously drop their consoles right in the holiday season. It's like a smart time to do so. And honestly, if you're going to be having a PlayStation 5, you know, PS5, that's what we're guessing it's going to be obviously called, fall 2019, or I guess fall 2020, 2 years from now, that would pretty much put the announcement, if they followed the PS4, February 2020, or if they follow the PS3 footsteps, that's going to be like, what, sometime middle of 2019, which is pretty exciting. Obviously, with everything that's been going down, there is some weird stuff going on. My personal take as of right now is I think they're going to be either, this has to do something with the PS5, which I think this is less about the PS5 and more about Sony going forward in the future and thinking how they want this news out. I mean, Sony's been acting weird for the past week, year or two, ever since their big PSX and E3 in 2016. They've been doing a lot more of a different strategy in terms of news, with just breaking news on a random day. So I think honestly, going into 2019, they said that they solved all their titles and the keystones that they want to announce stuff in, and that just the current year pattern with giving news in December and giving news in June just wasn't working for them. They need to have their own schedule, and I think that's what 2019 is going to look like for Sony. They might do some Nintendo Direct thingy, or just announce news when they can announce news, and that's just going to be their marketing plan. They're going to completely drop out of June because they don't really have anything to talk about in June. Yeah, I don't know what this possibly could mean. It's going to make Sony a lot more unpredictable. We don't know what this plan looks like. We don't know if they're going to comment any further or have like an official announcement. Yeah, as I said, there's like everything's kind of been thrown around. Is February going to announce like a new PS5? That's way too early in my opinion. Is Sony going to move over to like a direct kind of format where they just break news when they can, similar to how they've been doing lately on the blogcast? Who knows? Time will tell. Or is this possibly, Sony just dropping out of E3 because, well, E3 is just becoming less prevalent and something that is not really needed anymore, as you can see with Nintendo. So, yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. I do want to end up doing that PS5 video I've said I wanted to do for a while now. Definitely, this information is definitely going to just further, expand that, talk about it, and yeah, that discussion will only be propelled forward based on this new announcement. So yeah, what can I say? If you're looking for more Sony announcements, honestly, I think Game Awards will probably have something. Usually we always get something with Naughty Dog at the end of the year. Before PSX even happened, Naughty Dog was usually always at the Game Awards, so I think you can rest easy knowing that we'll probably hear from Naughty Dog at least in December come the Game Awards. So yeah, really interesting times. Definitely going to be interesting. If I can get the guys on Gaming at its Core, this will definitely be our main topic this weekend. But yeah, as I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I've seen so many things thrown around. It kind of is really interesting. I've seen one thing mentioned by Greg Miller on Twitter. Pretty much what this is doing is causing a lot of hype for what Sony's possibly going to do. So whatever they got to do now, it's going to have to be pretty big, and it's going to be interesting. As I, always try to do, keep your expectations in check. We don't know what this whole thing is. It isn't really, confirmed that they're going to be giving news similar to how Nintendo does it. For all we know, they could just literally just drop out of E3 because they don't really have much to show right now, and they're in an awkward position that the PS5 is a couple years away and that their last PS4 games are already announced. So, yeah, of course, there's, worst case scenarios and there's best case scenarios, and just take that with what you will. And yeah, again, I've been online. Make sure to leave me your theories and discussions in the comments down below. I'll try to reply to you guys as I always do, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Interesting times, for sure. See you guys.